Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kat and it has been a while. So I figured that I would just do a wrap up combined with a where I've been, and let's just get into it. So I'm gonna flash up the books that I don't feel like giving a dedicated wrap up to. I will put them in categories here while I am catching you up on where I've been. So as you know, I am a new mom. My daughter is now over 9 months old, and it just took me a while to get into the rhythm of being a stay-at-home parent, really. It's just a lot. So it took me a while to work out the routine and really understand how she liked her days structured. And it's just been a joy. So we hang out all day and we go on walks multiple times a day. Her naps are diminishing though, which means I have less time to read. But I have done some reading, as I'm sure you're seeing by what's going up. That's pretty much where I've been. Nothing dramatic or anything. And thank you to everyone who sent a message asking me if I'm all right, where I've been. Thank you so much for caring. It really kind of made me feel nice, and also made me think that I could come back even if I wasn't reading that much as I used to read. And also, as I'm sure you're gonna see, a lot of the stuff that I'm reading, when I'm really stressed, I tend to read more romance, and dark romance at that. So yeah, I just thought it would probably be okay to come back even if I'm reading a little different than I used to, like in terms of quantity and also genre specificity. So without further ado, I'm gonna tell you about the top 10 books that I read while I was gone. And they are a whole range. So number 10 is Parenthood the Swedish Way. And it's very interesting because they do things a lot differently than the way that I think things are done in America, Australia. Those are the places I have frames of reference for. There's more focus on outdoor time, minimalism in the home, and like lifestyle and consumerism, I would say. And it was very science-based, which I found very interesting. So if you're a parent and you're looking for an interesting parenting book, I would recommend it. I gave it 4 stars. Then number 9 is The Island by Lisa Henry. This is about a captured DEA agent who has been brought to an island by this drug boss, and he's not faring well. It's not going well. And we're seeing his plight through the point of view of this art dealer who, what's it called? Fencer. He fences stolen goods from around the world to bad people. And when he's on the island to do a trade, the DEA agent is given to him as a gift for his services on the island. And he's caught between if he should help the young man or if he should just do his business with the boss and get out of there. So it was actually very tense, and I thought it was just a great scene for the kind of captive dark romance that I was looking for. And I gave it 4 stars. So next up is one that I gave 4+ stars, and it has a decidedly way less serious plot. This is Evil Omega by S. Rodman. I didn't think that this would be as good as it was, but Rodman's humor is really funny. So I laughed my ass off throughout reading the book. So it says gay, necromancer, werewolf, supervillain, and power bottom. Silas is all of these and more. The other person that we're following is named Dean, and he is an alpha who's trying to settle into being in a pack. When he runs across the supervillain, this does have the whole heat cycle thing that often happens in Omega verses. Also, yeah, this is all about magic and shifters and yeah, alphas, omegas. So if you're not into that kind of thing, don't read this. But if you're looking for a very good time that will make you laugh, then I would recommend it. Also, if you know who S. Rodman is, I would really appreciate it, because I couldn't figure out if he or she or they, like, where they lived or even like anything about them. So I always keep my stats from everything that I read, but S. Rodman is an elusive author that I know absolutely nothing about. So if you happen to know anything, let me know. All right, next after that is we're breaking into 4.5-star territory here. This is The Servant and the Gentleman by Annabelle Greene. Her writing is really, really excellent if you're looking for soft, gooey, queer historical romances. So this is The Servant and the Gentleman, and like you could probably guess, there's a servant and a gentleman. So the gentleman is one of the people who helps run a hidden queer men's club in London. And the servant is not really a servant, it's the administrator of the Beast Club. And the accountant, Josiah, has had a crush on our main character, whose name is William, for a very long time. But William doesn't notice anyone except himself. He's very selfish and egocentric. However, one day changes that when William, due to past circumstances, has a fit of claustrophobia, and his assistant, his accountant, comes to his aid, and things go from there. This is definitely like a slow burn romance with a little bit of tension, but a whole lot of really great character development. So if you like that, and you like maybe a really well-written historical queer romance, I would really recommend this. I love Annabelle Greene's writing style. I think it's just really great. So next up is the third in a series by Tanya, who's an Australian author I recently found out about in the last year, and I really like her writing style. She's very dry and witty, and I really love the banter between her two leads in the romances. So this is Defender of Crowns, which is the third in the series, and I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil anything that happened in the last two books, but the setting itself I can talk about safely. It's a world where it's a kind of eco-dystopian where there's not that much sun, so food is very scarce. So for every city, they kind of set up in concentric rings where the wealthiest are on the inside and then the poor outwards. And the pairing that we're reading about in this book is one of the sisters of the past book's heroines and one of the soldiers who guard the city. So I really love it. If you really like witty banter between your love interests, and you like kind of medieval kind of fighting on the battlements type romances, then I would highly recommend this. It's absolutely excellent, and I can't wait to read more from Tanya in the future. All right, next is absolutely one of my favorite series ever. This is the Monsters series by Mayne. I'm obsessed with this series. I have no words to tell you how much I love it, but I'm going to try anyway. So this is a post-apocalyptic world where a rift has opened in the middle of America and monsters pour through, and the military like severely overreacted, tried to kill them all, created this wasteland in the middle of America, and so everyone lives in like either protected cities on the edges of America, or they're like raiders that live in their own little protected camps. And this is book number 5, so every book has kind of like a monster and human pairing, and this one is Moth's book. And Moth is a character that he's the product of a human and a monster, and he doesn't fit in, and he has a lot of angst and a lot of chips on his shoulders, like just a million chips, or like one big chip, I guess. And yeah, the person that he's paired with has a lot of sass to put up with, but I really loved it. This wasn't my favorite in the series. I think that this is my 4th favorite out of all 5, but I will read every book that comes out. I'm pretty sure that the next one is called Seraph, and I cannot wait for that one. It's Seraphim Lilac's book. I'm dying. Yeah, so Lily Mayne's like imagination is so excellent because every monster is like different. So every one of the pairings in each book is completely different and queer. So I am just living for this series. So if that's the kind of really dark romance that you're looking for, I highly recommend it. However, I will say trigger warnings for like everything because the world is very dark. So it is really graphically dark. There is violence, there is blood, there's like torture and death and yeah, it's dark. What is new? Okay, number 4 is A Veil of Gods and Kings by Nicole Bailey. This is the only one on this list that I give with some sort of caveat because I didn't actually finish this book. I liked it so much. Like, have you ever read a book and you can feel it starting to hurt you, like in your chest, like in your heart? Like, you know it's gonna hurt you. It's really gonna hurt you. So I was like, oh no. So I looked when the next books are coming out, and I think that the series, there's gonna be 4, according to Amazon. They're all supposed to come out this year, by the end of the year. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna stop reading because I don't want to be heartbroken when I can't continue to the next one. And I'm gonna wait till the 4th book comes out, and then I'm gonna binge them all at once. So I just realized I didn't tell you what this is about. So this is about Apollo, who is forced to kind of spend a year with a prince who is very good at following his duty, because Zeus thinks that Apollo is really good at shirking his duty. And the prince's name is Hyacinth. So they are forced together, and basically Apollo is learning to like fulfilling obligations and meeting requests and holding court, that kind of thing. And as they're forced together, there are a lot of things that are happening because in this world, the gods are truly wonderful and divine and also despicable and abhorrent. So you really get the true spectrum of the gods in here, and Apollo and Hyacinth were just breaking my heart, and it makes me nervous to even think about it because I was like starting to cry about it already. So I decided to pause it and then read it once all 4 are published. You might think that's excessive, but I don't know. If I think I'm gonna really love a series, I would rather definitely wait until they're all out. It was giving me kind of Song of Achilles vibes, and I was like really getting upset about it. So I'm really excited to see where the quartet goes. And now we are to my top 3, which is actually a trilogy. So all of these are 5 stars. All 3 of them are 5 stars for me. This is probably one of my favorite series of all time. It's definitely in my top 10 books of all time. This is the Captive Prince series by C.S. Pacat. So I do have the first 2, Captive Prince, Prince's Gambit, and then the 3rd is King's Rising. I just haven't managed to find this, what's it called? This edition. But yes, this is the series that I'm going to talk about. So Captive Prince is very famous in its own kind of way because it doesn't easily fit into a genre. So it is kind of fantasy historical, but no fantasy like magic, and not historical like as in a history that has happened. And it's also romance, but it's dark romance and also not. It's like enemies to lovers and also not. So it's very, very complex and brilliantly done. I'm a huge Pacat fan. I don't know if I mentioned it ages and ages ago, but years ago, I took a writing workshop with him. Pacat uses she, her, he, him. And I just think that she's brilliant. And I was feeling really down and just really tired, and I wanted to get back into reading. So I reread this trilogy, and it reminded me why I love her writing style in these books. So if you don't know, this is about 2 princes from warring countries. One prince, Damon, who is the best fighter in like all the lands, his brother actually has a coup and sends him as a pleasure slave to the prince of the neighboring kingdom that hates their kingdom. So the brother is assuming that if the prince knows who his brother is, he will kill him outright, and if not, then his brother will live the life of a pleasure slave in humiliation until his death. However, things do not go as planned for the brother, or for Damon, or for Laurent, who is the prince in the neighboring land. The thing about this is that it has 3 strands of plot, and they're all equal. So there's the overarching plot between the countries, there is the court plot within Laurent's country, which is where the majority of the book takes place, especially in the first one, and then the relationship between the 2 main characters. And when I tell you it takes a long time to thaw, it takes a long time to thaw. So this book is not romance at all. This book, little bit. So it builds slowly, but the plot interweaves so cleverly. This is one of my favorite series of all time. If what I said at all sounds good to you, I highly recommend these. Like I said, they're in my top 10. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for now. That's what I've been reading and up to while I've been gone. I hope that you have been having a great reading time, or if not, that you've been going easy on yourself. I will talk to you soon in another video. Lots of love. Bye!